Recently, our present mayor said that he's running for a second term, and he says, I really want to work with the homeless. And another person has stepped forward who put his name in nomination and wants to also sort of take care of those who have less. You know, we hear today about Washington, D.C., where Trump's moved out all the homeless people in D.C. Where did they go? Sanford has purchased a block between 25th and 26th Street between Broadway and Thayer. That's all trailers. And all of these people, their trailer is going to be moved and they will be homeless. What's going to happen to them? You know, Ministry on Margins helps the homeless and allows them to come into their establishment from 10 to 8 in the morning and stay overnight there, which is a great blessing. And I drive by there a lot of times about 9:30, 9:45, and they open at 10. And it's not uncommon to have at least 50 or 60 people waiting to go in that shelter already by 6:30 or 7. Stepping Stones, the program the Sister Idell Bout has begun now, is for people who are released from the hospital but have no place to go. But they can stay there until a certain period of time when they're going to ask to be relieved. But there is something being done for the homeless, and it's so easy to judge them as to why they're homeless. More times than not, we'll say they're lazy, they don't want to work, you know, or they have an addiction. Those are the two most common causes, we say, of homelessness. But we got to know who they are. And do we ever talk to them? You know, we see them and we just shake our heads. But it's important that we come to know them. Some of them have made bad decisions or suffered a traumatic experience and just don't know how to handle it. But they knew they need helping hands. But too often there aren't enough helping hands. But what are our thoughts about the homeless? Do we try to spend time with them? Do we want to know them and respond to them? I'm happy to see what's being done in the city of Bismarck at this point, and I hope that something is going to be done. But this is all over the country. I remember going to Florida one time to visit a priest friend of mine, and he lived in Orlando and then he said, I have to go down to North Palm Beach and for a little retreat for 2 days. Do you want to come along? And you'll just enjoy Miami. And I got into Miami after I dropped Pat off at the retreat center, and I registered at the desk, and I said, where's a place to eat? Anyway, I didn't ask them, but I said, I'll just go out the front door, and there must be something close by. And I happened to notice a man about in his early 30s or late 20s, just out there by himself. And so I went up to him and I said, where's there a place to eat? And they said, right over there. It was right on the other, right attached to the Days Inn that I registered at. And oh, thank you. He said, well, can I join you? And and I was sort of in shock at the time. And I said, oh, sure, come in with me. So I went into the restaurant, and we were given our menus, and he takes his menu and he reads it like this. And well, he said, I broke my glasses, and he had to get very close to read. And when it came time to order, he said, I'll take a filet. I said, I'm going to have a bowl of soup. And he said, a filet mignon isn't much more expensive than a hamburger. And so whenever I get a chance, I'll do the filet. And so he took the filet. We began eating, and he said, how's your soup? Oh, it's wonderful. And then he goes on to talk about the filet a little bit more. And interesting. And during the course of our conversation, he said that he's originally from Detroit, and he came down to Florida because of the temperatures, but he's an artist. And that is his desire, is to become a professional artist. But he didn't have a home. And he was just kicked out of the homeless shelter that he's been to for a few days. He said, you can only stay here for a few days. But this is where I'm at. And so we had a delightful conversation. And but by the end of the time together, he says one thing that I still remember. He said, I'll never have a chance to return this favor. But I hope that someday I'll be able to do for that person what you did for me. What advice? Well, here was someone who was homeless and didn't know where he was going to sleep that night. But we have to spend time with those who are homeless. Even talk to them. What do you need? So often we tell them what they need, and they just have to pull themselves together. But really, is that all they need? No. They need to be given some kind of responsibility and have someone listen to them, to hear their story, and then we can respond accordingly. It has really become a problem in our country, and something, God willing, will be done in time. But what's our judgment on the homeless? Do we accept them or just let them go their way? Do we in any way try to come to know who they are? Because if we don't know who they are, we can't respond to them. Because we know who they are and we know what they need. What we think they need is not always what they need. But the bottom line is we need to be sensitive. So I encourage you to pray for the homeless, for those who are losing their trailers at that lot at Broadway and Taylor at Thayer. And I'm just sure that no one stops and talks to them. What can we do for you now in the event that you can't stay here anymore? Can we help you find a new place? You know, because a home is where the heart is, huh? And please God that sometime I are responding to those who are homeless, and the people who are in authorities who are working with the homeless do well and do something good for them. But above all, pray for them, and if you at any time can do something for a homeless person, I encourage you to do so. Thank you.